Cadel Evans of Australia makes history today.
The Tour de France comes home to Paris. And an Australian wears the yellow jersey for the first time. What an incredible journey it's been, as history is made. The Tour salutes an Aussie hero.
Welcome to our last instalment of the Tour de France. This is the final stage of the greatest bike race of them all. And today is Australia Day on the Champs-Elysees here in Paris. The excitement that's generating is for one man. He's an Australian. He will become the first Australian to win this great bike race. His name is Cadel Evans.
Cadel Evans taking the yellow jersey on the eve of the final stage of the Tour de France was the culmination of a lifetime's work. The Australian cycling adventure started on the dirt, on the mountain bikes, where he was crowned the World Cup winner, not once, but twice. From being the world's best mountain biker, Cadel Evans made the switch to the road. He debuted with Mappé at the Giro d'Italia in 2002 and came within 9 kilometres of winning the race. He then went on to the Tour de France in 2008 after finishing second position the year before, starting as one of the favourites. But Lady Luck would cast its spell upon Cadel Evans, crashing on stage 9. He did take the yellow jersey, but the effects of that fall, they would catch up with him by the time they reached the final individual time trial.
46 to Cadel Evans is going to keep yellow or lose it to Frank Schleck.
42 secondes sur le groupe donc des frères Schleck, alors que Cadel Evans est en train de faire l'effort là pour essayer de recoller.
Have the 10 best bike riders on your wheel and you've got a 2-minute gap to close to one of the best climbers in the world. It's not an easy situation to be in.
It was then on to the final time trial. Could Evans get the time back on Carlos Sastre?
El Tour es de Carlos Sastre.
Qué grande. Bravo, Carlos.
It wasn't to be for Evans. He would finish in second place for the second year in a row. In 2010, he started as the reigning world champion. He took the yellow jersey on the first rest day, but his injuries from yet another crash would soon catch up with him.
I'm not at my normal level, but when you're in the yellow jersey at the Tour, whether you're good or not, you have to be there.
But Evans doesn't surrender easily. He'll now wear yellow into Paris.
The last day of the 3-week Tour de France began at Grenoble Airport, riders gathering for the short flight to Paris. It was a moment to reflect on the events of the last 21 days. Andy Schleck made a beeline to Cadel Evans, the pair embracing following their classic duels in the mountains. Onto the tarmac, and a relaxed-looking Cadel seemed to be soaking up the moment on this historic day. On the plane, the survivors of the Tour were packed down the back. Not Australia's new hero, the yellow jersey comfortably seated in row 1A.
Look, you know, Aussie is going to win the Tour, and yeah, it's history, I guess, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, look, you know, so proud of Cadel, proud to be an Australian, and what he's done is just absolutely phenomenal. And I know that the Australian people will you know, just be going mad down under. And what he's done is hard to explain. I mean, it's been a perfect battle. It's been a fantastic adventure out there on the roads. The best man won, and we'll be back here to do it again next year.
So the Tour de France comes home, where it will eventually make its way to the famous streets of Paris. The final stage will be a procession, a celebration. And as is usually the case, the race is not expected to light up until the riders hit the cobbled surfaces of the Champs-Élysées for the final sprint, where the green jersey is up for grabs. And what a moment this will be for Cadel Evans and Australia. Short and sweet, that's the distance for the final day of competition. Oh, and a dabble in some bubbly to mark the arrival of a new champion. Wearing the yellow jersey for the first time, Cadel looked comfortable. Tour director Christian Prudhomme emerges from the lead car with the official starters flag, and after a neutralised section, it was time to go. Not that any showed real urgency.
Those are the four leaders. Cadel Evans will probably be feeling a lot more comfortable than Mark Cavendish with his 1 minute and 34 second advantage over second place Andy Schleck. There are no mountains at all, so Sammy Sanchez, as long as he stays upright and stays inside of the main field, will take away the King of the Mountains competition, and there shouldn't really be any change in the Best Young Rider competition. But there could be a change in the green jersey race on the final day, and Mark Cavendish knows all about that, and he will be very attentive, and so too will his team. They're swinging around now They're going to leave the other side of the Seine behind them. Underneath the Châtelet there, when we're looking at this, is in fact the famous museum over to the right-hand side of the Louvre. And then they'll come out on the Rue de Rivoli.
We can't go in with our pictures, so by the magic of television, we will now nip to the other side as they come out the tunnel and then make the left-hand sweep, heading down Rue de Rivoli. As they turn now down towards the Rue de Rivoli under the famous, there's Jeanne d'Arc looking over the Tour de France arriving. Massive crowd, Norwegian crowd cheering on at the under the shadow of Jeanne d'Arc there, Joan of Arc, as they race under the famous Ferris wheel. We're heading now to the Place de la Concorde, and then we will turn on to the Champs-Élysées with 8 laps to go to end the Tour de France.
And this is what it's all come down to, the final charge on the Champs-Élysées. Marcus Burghardt now is the rider from BMC Racing, lifting up the pace. But look at everyone behind, Phil. They're all starting to queue up. They're all waiting for the battle to commence.
Team BMC are bringing now their man, Cadel Evans, in yellow, the first Australian to win this tour, which he's now just 48 kilometres away from doing. You can probably hear the bell ringing. Well, that's for the breakaway. The peloton are coming through. The gap is 13 seconds, 6 kilometres to go.
Well, 13 seconds. What's going to be very difficult now for the breakaway, Phil, is to survive on the uphill part of the course, because just looking at these guys, the fatigue is now starting to come in. The legs are burning with the lactic acid that's started to mount up in them. But there's still, I'm surprised to see that HTC High Road still haven't come to the front to take the responsibility. They're backing off and waiting for the very last moment.
This is amazing. This is not the usual way the sprinters take it to the finish of the Tour de France. They normally like space to organise those sprint terrains. It's not working out. That's Zhangli who's just gone off on the right there. Somebody from Rabobank.
Carlos Barredo jumping out of the pack here. It's a very good move by him to try and really make a mess of everything for the sprinters. He knows he's got to try and ride across a gap here of 12 seconds, and a little bit of panic on board the Sprinters Express on the left-hand side of the road. Who's going to chase down this man?
And so there should be. He sensed that this isn't going to a normal sprint finish with the trains all doing it. He's taking his chance here, Carlos Barredo, and if he gets up there, this might be a very different finish to this Tour de France. Don't worry about Cadel Evans, all you viewers in Australia, because he's going to win the Tour now. He's 3 kilometres away from safety before the finish of the Tour.
Phil, that gap is now no longer 12 seconds.
Gone.
Swifty, look at him. You see he's riding in the gutter just on the right-hand side of the road there, and that's the smoothest part. It's a long piece of granite, and that's what gives him that little bit of an advantage. He knows now if anybody can ride off the front end of a group like this, Swifty can. He's got a great background on the track, and he knows how to really push himself into those pain levels. On his wheel, though, marking every move, every pedal stroke, is Lars back.
Yes, and Lars will ride now because there's nobody left. He's got to ride now, and he's taking on Ben Swift. Swift, who's won races this year in Australia, Spain, Switzerland and the United States, is trying to win here in the centre of Paris, and it's the last day of the Tour de France. Is this spoiling the perfect day for the sprinters? Well, Ben Swift would love it to be that way, and he's trying desperately now to hang on to Lars back.
Well, he can't quite get into the slipstream of the big rider from Denmark, who's got a couple of bike lengths advantage. Carlos Barredo had tried again and again. The gap now down to just a mere 8 seconds as they take the turn at the top end of the Champs-Élysées. Swifty's lost the back wheel of Lars back. Now I wonder what's going to happen with the HTC High Road lead out. They may well just give the chance to their man to get himself the victory, and what a lone victory that would turn out to be.
As soon as Sky have seen that Swifty can't make it, they're going to reorganise situations now for Boyson Hagen, their sprinter who's back in the pack. In the green jersey is Mark Cavendish. The white jersey in the front are his teammates. He's having to fight to get himself organised here. This is a most disorganised approach to the line, but now they've got the front. The team of HTC High Road all of a sudden have got a dead straight line. The train is about to leave the station. I can't see, it looks like 75 kilometres an hour there as they go down the side of the Champs-Élysées.
Yeah, a little bit bumpy as we go down the Champs-Élysées. We're pushing it up. We're touching 45 miles an hour. Swifty lost the wheel of Lars back now. This is a very strange finish now, because poor old HTC High Road, they've got the firepower, they know what they have to do, but they don't really want to chase down their own man.
Well, they're dangerous moments too for Cadel Evans, because they're bumping and barging the sprinters now, but the good news is we're inside 3 kilometres to go to the finish, and so there's no way now Cadel can lose the Tour de France. The 3 kilometre rule would apply if he were to crash now. He's won whatever happens, as as he heads out now on his last half lap of honour for Australia. Now all that Mark Cavendish wants to do is win the last stage, and that will also confirm his green jersey.
There's only one man at the front of this race now, and it's Mark Cavendish, his own teammate, as he sweeps across on the Champs-Élysées. Ben Swift is back in the peloton. Now this is going to be a rather interesting final 2.5 kilometres once they get themselves to the Rue de Rivoli.
Round the back, heading now for our last visit beneath the Garden of the Tuileries as the peloton still tries to wrap this up. Desperate moments. Lars back, the first man to congratulate back if he were to win would be Mark Cavendish. Just reward for all the work he has done for Cavendish throughout 3 weeks of the Tour de France, but it's not going to happen. They're all together, led by the champion of Belgium, Philippe Gilbert.
Also the rider from Garmin in the blue helmet, that was Christian van der Velde, whipping up the pace. All of a sudden, Lars back has been wiped away. Hushoft into second position, looking over his shoulder. He's looking to see if he can find the shape of his own team sprinter, Tyler Farrer. Taking a back seat now just for a little while. You've got Bernie Eisel, but behind Bernie Eisel you've got Matty Goss, you've got Mark Renshaw, then you've got Tony Martin in the mix somewhere, and the green jersey of Cavendish.
But don't
Cavendish
forget,
back now is
you've
in the
got
driving
right
seat.
There, leading out, Rojas is in a brilliant position now to get the drop on Cavendish, and if Rojas finishes a few places ahead of Cavendish, Cavendish will lose his green jersey. This is the last turn down under the gardens. Then when you come out, you're 1 and a bit kilometres from the line.
Here it comes now. This is Bernie Eisel.
This is not a usual finish for them, but it looks as though Eisel this time has got himself under control. Cavendish is trying to hold position at the back behind Mark Renshaw. 900 metres to go to the end of the Tour de France. Cavendish has won twice here before. Can he get the hat-trick as they change partners at the front?
Tony Martin now, the winner of the time trial yesterday, is right up into first position. Behind him it's Matty Goss. Behind Matty Goss it's Renshaw. They've lined up the first 4 positions here as they come across the Place de la Concorde for the last time.
The world champion peels off. He's done his job for Tyler Farrer. So Hushoff drops out of it. Now, this is where the missile launched as we entered onto the Champs-Élysées 2 years ago when he won by a mile. It's a deja vu. It's just Cavendish now is in the third wheel. They've left it later because of the headwind that blows down this straight. Now, Renshaw will go. Cavendish is going with him. Boysenhagen is trying to get on his wheel. He'll never be as fast as Mark Cavendish. Eyes down, because this one will be Mark Cavendish's third win. As try as they might, Mark Cavendish gets win number 3 of his in history on the Champs-Élysées. He gets his 5th stage win of the Tour de France, and as he just told us, he gets the green jersey as champion.
And congratulated there, Phil, by Andre Greipel. Looking down there, you can just see the yellow jersey. This is the win.
There is the man who's won the Tour de France. The first to congratulate Cadel Evans, the first Australian to win the Tour de France, and he has done it on an American team, and they're all over him. It's going to be a big night in Australia tonight. It's already in the middle of the night in Australia, but they're all up watching the first ever Australian to win the Tour de France.
So Mark Cavendish completes a successful Tour de France by securing career win number 20. It's an incredible performance in only his 5th tour. Today's result notches up win number 5 in 2011. The result ensures the Manxman seals top spot in the green jersey competition, a jersey he has been chasing for years, Cav realising a boyhood dream.
Is this your best Tour de France yet?
Absolutely. Okay, I won 16 in 2009, but I didn't get the green. I wanted it this year. We won 5 stages, and we won a 6th with Tony Martin. And then we got the green jersey. So this tops off anything we've ever done. Super, super happy.
Spanish mountain specialist Sammy Sanchez dominated proceedings in the King of the Mountain competition. The Olympic champion of 2008 adds a polka dot jersey to his collection. Top team for 2011 is Garmin Cervelo, mainly on the strength of victories from Thor Hushoft, Tyler Farrer, and in the team time trial. Pierre Rolland is a star of the future, and he has the white jersey for Best Young Rider as a souvenir to recall his achievements. But the biggest prize of all goes to Cadel Evans, an Australian conquering the Tour de France. The winning margin at the end, 1 minute and 34 seconds from the Schleck brothers, Andy and Frank.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's had faith in me, in my career, in my
for everyone, from my teammates, my friends, my colleagues, and also my competitors and everyone here for the 2011 Tour de France. I think it's just been a beautiful race, and thanks to these two brothers here, we really, I think it was a fantastic experience for everyone involved, and I couldn't be happier than to be standing up right here in the middle here.
I won't sound arrogant, but Frank and me, we are champions, and to lose, there's nothing bad about it. I mean, Cadel was the strongest, and no one else deserved this victory more than him. I have no doubts. I mean, last year I was standing here with different thoughts, but this year I lost because I wasn't good enough. But I keep on training, and Cadel, he might have a problem next year.
Frank, I think definitely two problems. Frank, on the other side of the fence, it was one of the most exciting tours that I've seen in a long time. You guys animated it along with the other riders. You must be very happy at the same time.
Listen, I'm very proud of it. Being on the podium with my brother, never have been there. We wrote history, and this is what happened today. It's been great. I couldn't believe it. A dream came true. Of course, we want to win the Tour de France, and we're going to come back, and we're going to challenge Cadel and all the others again.
I say for all the people who believed in me from the start of my career, and that started as a mountain biker when I was 14 years old in a suburb of Melbourne many years ago. Mr. Damien Grundy was the first man in cycling ever to believe in me, and things I learned from him I still use in practice every day today. So from him, but going on to that and going on to racing on the road and working with Aldo and his passing last year, for him it was the ultimate dream to win the Tour de France with one of his own riders on all his protocols, by his mentality, and I think I've been hearing from his wife a few times this week, and I'm really proud and honoured to be able to deliver this for him.
And a special mention to the 6 Australians who started the Tour de France 3 weeks ago. All made it to the finish line on the Champs-Élysées.
And if you can't get enough of the Tour de France and the historic moment, tune into SBS1 tonight from 10 o'clock for a special presentation, Cadel Le Triomphe. That's 10 o'clock right across Australia. So Cadel Evans wins the Tour de France, and we've enjoyed the ride. We know that you have as well. On behalf of the team, I'm Mike Tomalaris. Bye for now.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strings, then let us sing. Advance Australia.
Yeah.